Hey, it's Lizzie from Too Cruel. I'm going to show you how to do a few stitches today. We're going to start with the easiest and work our way to the hardest. So the first stitch we're going to do is the back stitch. So this stitch is my favorite stitch to do. It's a handy one to know. It's good for like lettering and various shapes. So grab your floss and let's do it. So I have my floss, my embroidery hoop, and I'm doing this on linen. So to start the back stitch, you put your needle through the back and you kind of poke through a little bit just to find where you want your stitch to start at. So I'm just going to start by doing a straight line. You pull it all the way through and go directly downward. Okay, so you want to make sure you have it pulled nice and tight, and then you go down below it straight, pull it through, and then you find your hole. I usually push my finger through on the back to try to make it so it's kind of up and easier to see. Then go through that hole where your bottom one is, and you pull it through again so it makes a nice and straight line. And you just keep going until whatever your stitching is complete. So it meshes together nice. Hopefully it'll be straighter than what mine is right now. But that's basically how you do a back stitch. Okay, so now that I showed you how to do a basic straight line with a back stitch, I'm just going to show you how it can be used for like a little shape or something that you can kind of adjust it. So I'm going to show you how to do two different kinds of triangles. Okay, so the first triangle I'm going to show you is just going to be with 3 single stitches. So just up and over. And then you're going to make the bottom of it. And just go in that hole you already formed. So that's one simple thing that you can do with a back stitch, is just simple little designs like that. Otherwise, maybe if you wanted to do something bigger and you didn't want to have too big of stitching so it would snag, you could do like multiple back stitches in a line. Running out of thread. So those are 2 different kinds of triangles that you can do with back stitching. Okay, so I'm going to show you some examples of things that you can do with back stitching, just so you get more of an idea, because it doesn't have to be all too simple. So if you wanted to go triangles, I mean, this is all done in back stitching. There's also, you can do wood pieces like this, just drill the holes through the wood. So this is the only stitch you can do with these are back stitching. You can use different size threads and everything to give it a little bit more detail. Or it's more triangle shapes. And then just more wood pieces type of things. But there's a lot you can do with it, and it's a good stitch to know. Now we're going to learn to do the split stitch. So Brian says split stitch is the bitch stitch. So let's do the bitch stitch. Okay, so you go up and through just like you do for the back stitch, and down just the same. Okay, so you go back through the middle of the thread, back down again. So it's just like linked together. Just keep going that way. It's hard to get through there sometimes. So you can do it on large scale or small scale. This is obviously very large. So that's what it looks like when you do just a single strand of it, but now I'll show you how to do a double strand of it. Okay. So this is a larger scale of the split stitch, and I love the way that this one looks just because it looks chunky, but This is actually 2 layers of split stitch side by side next to each other. Okay, so to do the side by side like I did with the pink words, you just start at the top again, and you just do another split stitch as close to it as you can. I think when you do just a single strand of split stitch, it looks kind of messy. Maybe it's just how I do it, but when you do double, it looks a lot cleaner. I mean, I'm in no way an expert or anything, but that is just my humble opinion. If you hold the thread down with your thumb or whatever finger, you can kind of guide it to go in whatever direction you want it to go in, if it's not cooperating with you. Alright, so that's all I've got for you today. I'll be back next time to show you a few more stitches, and in the meantime you can go to toocruel.wordpress.com